You mean to tell me that we sat in this doctor's office all this time, paid $300 for them to tell you that you are literally full of as scared as I was to take this medication? My reality was way different than my expectation. So if you want to hear about my first 4 weeks on Zepbound, then stay tuned. For the last 4 years, I've been on a health and wellness journey. And I must say, I've tackled my spiritual wellness, I've tackled my mental wellness. And last year, after I turned 40, it just seemed as if my body was saying, all right, it's time to tackle your physical health. I have been struggling with health issues since 2013, but in 2023, 2022 is where more diagnoses started to happen. And last year it got kind of scary for me. And so I just decided that, you know what? I need to lose weight. My nephrologist and my cardiologist was saying, hey, the issues that you're going through, they would get better if you would, incorporate exercise and your diet, basically lose the weight that you've gained over the last few years. I promise you things would get better. And of course, I know that, but it's hard to lose weight, to do all the things when you are a busy mom, when you work outside of the home, when you're a wife, when you're doing all the things and being everything to everybody around you. But last year, I really decided that I was going to put my physical health first. And all last year, I've been trying to do different things. One of the main things that I did was data-driven fasting, which was like a month-long challenge. I would always do maybe 2 weeks, and I would do those 2 weeks strong, but then I would fall off, even though I would see results. But it just seemed as if my results were just the same 5 pounds over and over again. I would lose those 5 pounds and then I would gain them right back. And it was more than just not exercising and diet, but stress in my life that was causing me to eat. Like I felt like I didn't have any willpower. If my brain said, hey girl, we got Doritos, by the end of the night, no matter how long it took, my body was like, girl, get up and go get those Doritos. And that's what happened. So this year I realized that I can't do this the way that I've been doing it. And the only thing that I have not tried outside of diet and exercise was a medication. So if you look at my last video, you will see how I came to the conclusion of taking Zepbound, but I decided to go with Zepbound. And I must say, as scared as I was to take this medication, my reality was way different than my expectation. So if you want to hear about my first 4 weeks on Zepbound, then stay tuned. Just to give you a background on me, my name is Tasha. I am 41 years old. I am a mother of 3. I am a wife. We got a little dog. And I'm also an educator. And I think that basically tells you how busy my life is. If I'm not dealing with my own children or with my husband, I'm taking care of other folks' kids. And that can become stressful. After making the decision to take the medication, it was something that I felt like, yes, I needed help, but I did not want to go into this with the expectations of this is strictly for weight loss, because it's not for me. I created a goal to better my physical health. I wanted to reduce the amount of medication that I have to take for my kidney disease, for my blood pressure, for my heart condition. I want to reduce those medications. Even though I'm using another medication to do so, if I can reduce those, then, it's a win in my book. And weight loss is a benefit of it. So my goal is not to just lose all this weight, but it's definitely to improve my physical health, right? And so going into this, I know that I have to be everything to a lot of people, and I didn't want this medication to just mess up my quality of life. I did my research and I realized that some people were down bad with this medicine. So I just knew that side effects, I was just going to experience them. It was nowhere around the side effects. I was expecting to be hugging the toilet, whether I was on top of it with my bottom or with my face over it. I just knew, according to what I was seeing on the internet, that he would tell me it's time to eat in my video. Time to eat. Okay. But I just knew that I was going to get side effects. A lot of the medication that I've had to experience over the past few years, just trying to adjust my medications, I've had reactions. So I felt like this was going to be one of those things. And I must say, that was not my experience at all. And what I found is that you hear more people talking about the bad than you do the good. And so my first 4 weeks were basically uneventful when it came to side effects. First week, no side effects. My second week, and I'm looking at my notes because I have my notes here. There were no other side effects my second week. And I must say my first week, I was hanging with Aunt Flo. So nothing that was out of the ordinary with, other than me and her hanging out that week. Second week, nothing. But the third week is when I started to experience constipation. Now I put a question mark here because I'm not sure if it's the medicine or if it's just me, because I have constipation issues, period. Like bad. Like here's a story. In May, I couldn't walk. I was having like this real bad back pain, and it was similar to sciatic nerve pain, and it was like a mix between a muscle spasm and sciatic nerve pain, and I could not walk. I was like, this is crazy. So about 9 o'clock that night, I asked my husband to take me to the urgent care, and we get there. They run all these tests. They had to authorize this x-ray that was $300. And they came back in the room and was like, I think you're just severely constipated. And I'm like, how constipation makes me like feel the way that I'm feeling? And they were like, honestly, I was really backed up. It didn't seem as if I had a blockage. I was just really backed up. And it was so much that it was pressing down, he said, maybe on one of my nerves, which is why when I would move, I would feel it. And I was like, I was embarrassed. And so when we got in the car, my husband, he was like, because we left there around about 11:30, almost midnight. My husband was like, you mean to tell me that we sat in this doctor's office all this time, paid $300 for them to tell you that you are literally full of shit? Like, I could have died in that car. So I said all that to say I have had issues with constipation. But this experience, that third week, it wasn't like the previous. At first I took Mag 07, because like I said, I thought I was going to be having all these symptoms. So I bought all the things, and people were talking about Mag 07. So I bought that. It didn't work. I took like 4 pills. It didn't work. And then maybe 2 days later, I went and bought Docalex. I think that's how you say it. But the little smart chew, why am I saying smart chews? Those little soft chews, And I did about 3 of those. And the next morning I went. And then after that, it was regular again. And I also started experiencing more food noise, towards the end of the week. And week 4, pretty much the same thing. It wasn't like, it was normal. I was going, I wasn't in any pain, didn't feel okay. I think during that time I started feeling a little fatigued the day after my shot. So that's when I, would take my shot, and I would have to be in the bed for, a few hours, and then I would get up and I would feel okay, but nothing Nothing like what I was reading on the internet. Nothing at all. So as far as weight loss, I'm going to be looking down a lot for this one because I just want to make sure I got it right. Weight loss. I started this medication on July 1st at 203 pounds, 200 and 203. What is wrong with me? 203.6 pounds. 203.6 pounds. I started at 203.6 pounds. But just to back up, the first day of my journey, which is the day that I went to the doctor, this is before I even injected any medication, I decided to redo my data-driven fasting process. And it just basically, I was monitoring my blood sugars, and it was training me to learn my hunger cues so I could, decipher between what was me being really hungry versus what was in my head. And so between June 20th and July 1st, which is the first day that I actually took my shot, I lost 4 pounds. So my starting weight on June 20th was 207 pounds. And on July 1st, the first day of my first shot, 2.5 milligrams, I was 203 pounds. Why is it so hard for me to say 203.6 pounds? So after my first week, like I said, me and Aunt Flo was hanging out. I didn't have a significant weight loss. I lost 0.3 pounds that first week. The second week, I lost 2.9 pounds. So I went down to 204 pounds. The third week, I was down to 197.8, which was a loss of 2.6 pounds. And that fourth week, I was still 197.8. But again, that's when Auntie was getting ready to visit, just the normal things. So in total, for the month of July, from the first shot to my fourth shot, I lost 5.8 pounds. But if we go from June 20th, I lost a total of 9.2 pounds. So I'm excited about the weight loss. Like I said, it's not the end all be all because I don't want to lose weight and I still have issues with blood pressure, things of that nature. My goal is to better my health, and weight loss is just a benefit from that. Unexpected results. So there are things that I didn't even expect to happen that actually happened because I didn't see people talk about it on the internet. Number one, inflammation. I lost so much inflammation in my body within this first 4 weeks. Like all the aches and the pains, the backaches, like my feet used to kill me. All of that, it reduced significantly. Like I'm not gonna say it all went away, but it definitely reduced significantly. Like moving easier, not feeling like a bag of bricks, trying to wake up in the morning. It felt good to get up in the morning, honestly. I was not as tired as I used to be. I found that I was getting more things done, actually. I had more energy to exercise. I wanted to exercise. I wanted to get rid of that energy. I started doing cardio, and then I kind of curved my cardio and moved right into strength training, which I hate. Most people hate cardio and love to strength train. No, it was complete opposite. I love cardio. I can cardio all day long, but strength training, my arms, they weak. Like, nah, I ain't lifting nothing. But I found myself wanting to lift more. And then I could do it. Like that was the difference for me. Is like I was like, oh, I ain't gonna be able to do it. And I was able to, like, even though she said like give me 5, the little videos I was watching, I was able to give like 2 or 3 versus previously I would just be looking like this is entertainment, girl. I'm not finna do that. Like, so I wanted to exercise. I had the energy to exercise, and not only exercise, but even when I got off work, because I started back to work towards the end of the month. I started back the last week in July. it was like I was tired because my body was, I had been at rest since May. And then now my regular routine started, and my body was trying to get adjusted. But even when I would get home, I would have enough energy to do my checklist. Let's go clean the kitchen with my husband. Let's go fold clothes. Like, it wasn't like I'll get to it later. Like, no, let's do it now. Which leads to another thing that I thought was excited was my brain fog. Like, I have such a clear mind, even though I attribute my brain fog to just the things that I've been going through with my blood pressure. It's hard for me to recall words, things of that nature, but I feel like I have been able to think clearer. So brain fog has definitely been reduced. So I am excited that those are the things that I'm most excited for. Even though weight loss is exciting for people, that component right there, it makes me happy. And so what do I think helped me on my journey this month? Number one, I started with the data-driven fasting. Data-driven fasting is based off of your blood sugar. It monitors your blood sugar. You have to take it in the morning, as soon as you wake up, before you eat, 2 hours after you eat. And it just helps you to monitor when your body needs fuel versus when you just want to feed your body. And that kind of taught me about my blood sugar levels, how does it feel for my blood sugar levels to be elevated, when it drops. I can tell those things from my body because I did the data-driven fasting before I started. And so with that, I was inputting things in my body that would not cause that significant, up and down from my blood sugar. So I think the fact that I learned how to eat according to my blood sugar levels, I learned what I needed to fuel my body with. I think that really helped me. I prioritize water. I prioritize fiber, but I have to limit my protein, which it sucks a little bit. I see everybody, like I can do 125 grams of protein. Because I have kidney disease, my nephrologist capped my protein intake at 70 grams. So I try my best to get all 70 grams in every single day. So I prioritize water, fiber, and protein. And that was even before I started with the medication. I also learned from my doctor that taking the shots in the sides of your thighs would cause you to have less side effects. Now, I've seen that this has not been true or the case for everybody, but for me, it was Bible. Like, he told the truth. I started with my left and I did the right, the left and the right. And I was scared to change it up because I'm like, I'm not experiencing side effects. So if I decided to do my arm or my stomach and I started having side effects, then I could be triggering that for the rest of my time on the medication. So I just stuck to my thighs and it worked. And then I started a pregame ritual with my shots. The day before my shots, I would make sure that I hit my protein goal, make sure I drink all of my water. So that was the priority, especially the day before the shot. And then the day of the shot, I would prioritize protein. Like, I would go over a little bit because with the protein, I would eat my 70 grams. And then maybe an hour and a half before it was time to take my shot, I would drink electrolytes. Then 30 minutes before my shot, I would take a protein shake. And I took my shot at night, so I would then go to sleep. And then the next day, I would be fine with the exception of a little fatigue, which, I basically take my shots on the weekend. So I can say that fatigue is because I've been ripping and running all week and my body wants to rest. And this medication is helping me gain the rest that I need for that moment. And then I think also the fact that I started incorporating exercise as, before the shot as well. So I was doing cardio, then I switched up to strength training. Now I do strength training more than I do cardio, and I like it. Like, I like it now. And I think it's just because the more I've done it, the stronger I've gotten and the easier it is for me. And so I don't hate it as much. So future plans with this medication. My goal is to stay at 2.5 milligrams as long as I can. My doctor, he wants me to go up to 10. He said he doesn't think that he'll take me past 10. He has a weight loss goal for me. He wants me to get to around 150. That's his goal. He's the doctor. But for me, I feel as long as I'm losing on the 2.5, as long as my food noise is not huge, as long as I feel good on 2.5, I'm going to stick with 2.5. And when that does not work anymore, then I'll titrate up to 5. But for the near future, maybe 2 more boxes, I'm going to stick with the 2.5. And eventually try to get off the medication. But if I have to take this shot for the rest of my life, I'm cool with it, as long as they can work out the pricing and things of the nature. Now, I will say, if you did not look at my last video, I did mention that I am taking the Zepbound. My insurance is covering it. And right now I'm only paying $25 a box. And let's hope that it stays that way. I've seen a lot of shortage information. I've seen compounding companies popping up everywhere with their advertisements. But hopefully that will soon die down and this medication will be open for everyone and affordable for everyone. But I am excited that I decided to put my fears aside and start the medication. The only regret that I have is that I didn't start sooner. So that's my first full month. So if you have stayed to the end, please leave your girl a comment down below. Let me know where you're coming from, so I can visit your channel. Let me know about your journey. I'm trying to find friends on the internet who feel what I'm going through. And I've seen a couple of you all, and I've commented on a lot of the pages, and I must say that I am enjoying the community around the people who are experiencing this journey as well. Also subscribe, get me to that 1,000 mark, so I can be in the monetization club. But only do this if you feel as if this is a place you would like to join. Remember, on your journey, to keep that joy. Keep the joy on your journey. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.